Microphone check 212. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to It's the Bearded Man podcast with your favorite, the world's favorite bearded man, Bob Bay. It's lovely out today in LA. The sun is shining this Sunday afternoon. I'm sitting across from a beautiful bellow. I was saying what? A beautiful bearded man. The beard's kind of coming in.
It's coming in. It's not fully there yet.
It looks good.
Yeah.
Adrian Verdult, what's up, brother? Verdult.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Dude, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Yeah,
You feel good? Mentally, physically, spiritually, the whole nine?
Yeah, the whole nine. Feeling good. As soon as we're back from tour and all that stuff, it calms down. So I feel better when we're off tour.
Yeah,
chilling rather than.
I want to bring that mic a little bit closer to you. I just want to make sure the quality sounds. We want the people and the listeners when they're tuning in today to make sure they can hear you. Yeah,
I'm getting used to this.
This is a big day for Adrian. Yeah. Again, the first in studio podcast experience. We're gonna make it something memorable for him, but. Yeah, man, I'm stoked to have you here today, and it got me fired up finding out that you were born in Massachusetts, so that struck home.
Lawrence, Massachusetts.
Shout out to Lawrence, Massachusetts. So we got a fellow Massel, even though you spent most of I think your years out here. I just think it's a small world, how the world can full circle, and even I don't know if you were with them yesterday, but I saw Bob Menery was with a bunch of your guys with the NELK Boys.
Yeah.
He's from Massachusetts. He's from not Lawrence, but he's from like the north part of Boston.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, it's weird. I didn't know that. Yeah, I did not know that. But I wasn't with them last night. But they've been going all around. They've been going crazy since we've been back. But fucking Bob Menery one night, and then Justin Bieber the other night.
Really?
Yeah, they're going wild. Yeah,
dude, that is massive.
Yeah,
I can't even think of who put me on. I don't know how I came across NELK Boys. I don't know. It had to have been probably honestly, I think I've probably seen clips over the last couple of years, but I think I really started to pay attention within like the last 6 months. Mm-hmm. And I feel like it's just blown up.
Yeah.
I feel like this movement has just, clearly it's taking time. This wasn't some overnight success.
No,
but I feel like right now in the last 6 to 8 months, there's just been this huge momentum of moving forward.
Yeah, it's actually been crazy because when I first started, it was like very, very small. It was like a small team too. It was like me, obviously all the boys, Kyle, Jesse, Steve, our manager, and then me, Austin, we're like the two videographers, and then we had Nino on the team at the time. And it was just like a small operation of us just kind of trying to figure out what the fuck was going on. Like we were still like not big with our merch, but we were just like making like, sales to keep us afloat. And then over the last two and a half years that I've been with them, it's just blown up. And
holy shit.
I was just like, I'm still shocked to this day. Just like, how am I a part of this? This is actually insane. I
was trying to figure out through social media and through researching when you kind of teamed up and like started to become part of like the team. Mm-hmm. So 2.5 years.
Yeah, it's been like 2.5 years, something like that.
So you really have seen some of like the.
Oh my god! Yeah. Everything. It's been insane. Yeah. Just so wild.
How did that opportunity come about?
Actually, a really funny story. This was when I was so at the time I was living in. This is like 2.5, 3 years ago. I was living in San Clemente at like a family friend's house, and just kind of like I was in that like stage of my life where I kind of felt stuck. I was like pursuing this video career, like trying to be a filmmaker, but didn't know exactly what to do or how to like land a big job or start my own company. I was just kind of like floating around, and I would always reach out to people, always DM people and just ask for an opportunity or something like that. And I think I was on Snapchat, and Kyle from NELK Boys, he posted a story on Snapchat saying like, if you guys are in the OC area, come out to Time Nightclub. It's a club in Orange County. Come out to Time Nightclub. We're going to be there all night. And I'm like, holy shit, like this might be like kind of a dope opportunity to meet them. So I was like, okay, how do I get my camera into Time Nightclub? So
because you're not allowed to bring it, right?
No,
you
can't.
It's like when you go to a concert. Most times you have to have a pass to bring it in, or you're not getting in with it.
They would deny you at the door. And I was like broke, so I was just like, I can't pay for a ticket to even get in to Time Nightclub. So I went on Time Nightclub's website and I looked up and researched every promoter that was affiliated with Time Nightclub, and I think I DM'd 5 of those promoters, and then 4 of them said no, I can't get you in for to get you a media pass. And there was one guy I convinced, and he was just like, okay, I'll give you like the media pass for tonight. We'll see how you do, and then we'll see if we can work in the future. Me knowing in the back of my head, I didn't want to film for this fucking club. I was just like, I'm just trying to get to Nelk. That's it.
But you didn't say that. You kept you kept it even keel. Yeah, we'll build this relationship out.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So, I show up, drive the 45 minutes there. I get in. It's probably like 2 hours into the show. It's kind of nearing its end, and I'm like, all right, I got to talk to these people at a certain point, like do something. And so I first go up to Nino, their like old videographer, and I asked him, I was like, hey bro, like I'm a videographer out of like LAOC. Like if you guys ever needed someone, I'd be happy to help you. And he looked at me and just said no. I was like, okay, all right. And then I was just like, obviously down on myself, but then I was just like, okay, I might as well ask Kyle. I made the drive here. I got in. What's it going to hurt? So I went up to Kyle and I was just like, hey, I'm a videographer in OCLA. Is there any chance you guys are looking for a videographer? And he said, yeah, DM me. And I was just like, okay, that's just bullshit. like that's, I'm going to DM you and you're never going to respond. It's just a way. I thought it was a way to like, for him to be like, okay, fuck off. Just don't talk to me.
Totally.
So I was like, okay. So the next day I DM him and I'm like, hey, I'm the videographer from Time Nightclub. I'd be happy to like help if you guys ever needed anything for like video, whether it's like B-roll or what have you. And 3 days later he responds, and he's just like, are you available like in an hour? And I'm still living in San Clemente, and I'm like, oh fuck, like this is like an hour away from LA. And I was just like, yeah, I'm available in an hour. Yep. And then he was just like, can you meet us at the house? Like we're going to shoot a video tonight. And I was just like, yeah, sure. And I just packed everything in 30 seconds, drove straight to LA, met up with them. And that night we were supposed to shoot a prank at the Grammy after party, but it didn't end up actually going through because Post Malone was supposed to win a Grammy, but he didn't. So we didn't shoot the prank because he was supposed to have like a big after party or something like that. So that video flopped, and I was like, well, there goes my opportunity. And so we didn't end up shooting that night. And then he was just like, yeah, I'll shoot you a text if we ever like need some stuff like another day. And I was like, okay. And then the next morning he texted me again, and he was just like, can you come down? We're going to shoot a prank in like a lecture hall. And he's just like asking me all these questions about my equipment. And I'm like, yep, I got it all. Like, wow. Don't worry about it. And I'm like,
you actually had it all?
Nope.
Oh,
no,
you didn't.
No, I didn't have. He was like, what equipment do you have? And I was like, I got this, that. And so like, I didn't have any of this equipment. So like, I had my camera, but we needed like a long lens because they shoot pranks from far away. And so I like ran to my brother's house, and I was just like, I need your lens. Like, I need this. Like, you don't understand. And he was just like, okay, just get it back to me. Grabbed that lens, flew to LA. Met up with them again, and then we shot like drinking or kegs in a lecture or something like that day. Video went great. It's definitely like one of the more viral ones that like, World Star was posting us at the time, so like it did go viral. And ever since then, it was never like Kyle telling me specifically like, hey, you're on the team, but it was just like every day he was like, yeah, come back. Yeah, come back. Yeah, come back. We're going to shoot this day. We're going to shoot this day. And eventually I was just coming over every day because we were shooting something every day. And I was still broke, like no money. So I was parking my car right down the hill from their house and sleeping in it because I knew I was going to get a text that next morning. Just
come back.
Yeah, come back and film. But I didn't have the money to pay for my gas to get there and back. So I was sleeping in my car right outside their house for, I don't know, like 2 weeks. Just so I know I have the money, like I've, whatever, I have $30 in my bank account. All I have to do is get food. Now I don't have to pay the $30 to get to my house and back. So I did that for 2 weeks. And then after like a month, they hired me on full time, started paying me. And then the rest is history.
Holy shit. So for context, so Nelk is well over, I think, 5.5 million subs right around now.
I think we have like 5.6, 5.7.
Yeah. Okay. So at the time of you reaching out, like what, I'm not somebody that wants to use numbers as like success is whether someone's successful or not, but context wise, what were they looking like at this time that you were reaching out?
I think they were around like 2.2 or 2.5, something like that. So they
were moving. They had some good traction.
They still had like really, really big traction, but they hadn't quite like hit yet. But when I like jumped on, it was just like the right time, right place. for us to like, or like for me to like help them blow up and like, you know, increase that quality of video and all that kind of stuff.
Well, dude, props to you for actually still stepping up and introducing yourself to Kyle even after getting shut down, because I think most people in that situation would assume I got to know from one person on the team. There's no point in continuing to ask.
Yeah.
But you just said, fuck it, I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask every single person on this team until I get what I want, which is a yes and an opportunity.
Yeah. Still crazy to this day. I'm like, damn, imagine if I didn't just go up to him and I was like that discouraged, like that.
It's all one moment, one conversation, one interaction, one opportunity. Like it can change that quick.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to say it changes that quick, but that one little moment then over some time gets you to that position where you're then a full-time for them. But if you didn't actually step up and do that, you don't know if that ever would have happened.
Yeah, I would have never known. So I'm so glad to this day that I just like was like, fuck it, I might as well, and just like took everything in me, just like go up to him and just say that, just like, hey, do you need a videographer?
So they had no idea for those 2.5 weeks that you were sleeping your car down the street.
No, I was so low key. Like I was so low key. I made sure like my car was like hidden behind a tree or something, just so like even if they saw my car, they'd be like, why the fuck is this car still here? Like, that doesn't make sense. But yeah, I was driving like down the hill and around the block just to like park, and then like blacking out all my windows with my t-shirts.
No way.
Just so they wouldn't see me sleeping in the back of my car.
And so you would just change in the car. So if you went back the next day, it'd be a whole different outfit. They would have no idea.
Yeah, I would wake up early in the morning. I'd go to Starbucks, plug in all my equipment.
Charge up.
Yeah, buy like I don't know, like the cheapest drink they had, like a regular coffee or whatever. Charge all my equipment, and then just kind of like wait around to get a text. And 99% of the time they would text me either like that morning and be like, hey, can you come by for like 2 or whatever. So I was just like ready to go. Like didn't have any worry about driving to and from like San Clemente.
Wow. And so you're 25 today?
25.
So you're probably around 22, 23 at that time when this started happening?
Yeah.
So what were you doing? Clearly did you have a job at the time? Like how were you trying to make money at that time? Were you in school, or to be in a position where you can just say screw it? And like, I mean, it takes a lot to be willing to sleep in your car and to go to that length, knowing that you're probably going to get the text, but that also means you had to punt anything else that was on your like table of opportunities. So what else was happening besides this moment of time of NELK?
At the time I was just doing like freelance stuff. So like, I don't know, here and there, getting a wedding gig. My sister actually owns like her own like wedding business. She's like an event planner. So I was like getting a lot of gigs from her. So like I would do like her weddings, and it wasn't anything like no crazy money, but it was just something that was getting me by. So like that was my one main source of income. That was kind of it. And whenever she didn't have like or she had like a wedding that didn't need a videographer, I would just bartend for that wedding. So I was just like doing kind of both. Whatever she needed, I was just like, hey, if you got a job, just give it to me. Whether it's bussing, whether it's, you know, bartending, or like these videos. I was like, okay, I'll do it all. Just let me know when you need me and I'll be there. So
yeah, I mean, dude, that's the tough thing that people don't realize is you have to go through a time and period of doing shit you don't want to do.
Yeah.
You know, like.
And I was not enjoying like wedding videography. Of course not. But I knew I was like, okay.
Well, yeah, I don't want to say of course not. But.
Yeah. To whoever like does like wedding videography, I'm not doxing it, but me personally was not like intrigued to go shoot someone's wedding, because when you do it over and over and over again at the same location, it kind of becomes the same thing. It's
totally.
Like, and it gets so blurry, but it was still cool like having that experience of like shooting these weddings, because it did give me like a lot more experience to like you know editing and filming and stuff like that. So I'm definitely not like doxing it by any means.
Yeah. Other than I would imagine the idea that this would be a huge opportunity because they were at the time clearly a successful YouTube group. What else was appealing to you about what NELK was doing? Like what was making you want to sleep in your car and being willing to continue to show up? Other than obviously this is a great opportunity, this could be something much bigger, but what was it about NELK or the crew or Kyle or Steve? Like what was it that you were appealed to?
I think it was kind of like the traveling that they were doing all the time. Because in my mind, I had always dreamed of like, I just wanted to like, I would sit in my room every day and just be like, I just want to go somewhere. I just want to do something, but I never had the money to do it. So I was just like, I saw how they were like traveling and filming all this crazy stuff, like, going to these Hollywood parties, and I was like trying to just get into like a Hollywood party just to like film it for that night and just like have something cool to edit instead of like a wedding. Because that's more my niche is like, show videography or like like kind of like party style footage. Like that's definitely like what I'm more drawn towards. So like that was kind of something I was just like, you know, if I see them doing that kind of stuff, maybe that's someone I want to work for in the future. So when I saw that and like saw their lifestyle, I was like, damn, I gotta be in that.
Man.
Yeah.
Dude, that's fucking gnarly, bro.
Yeah.
Like to, cause I had researched and I had found that there was some stuff posted about how you were living in your car at some point in time, and I didn't know the context of it, but
yeah. Well, that wasn't even like me living in my car, but cause
that's a different,
that whole different, playing field. But like, yeah, when I moved out of my first apartment in LA, I kind of just had quit my job and like didn't really know what to do, but I knew I just wanted to like continue the video stuff. And I was like, well, rent's like dumb expensive. Like I'd rather just like pour my money into like the video stuff. So I lived in my car for like a month just to like kind of like save my money and just like
out here in LA.
Yeah. So I was just like kind of driving around. Sometimes like I'd, sleep on a friend's couch or like stay at friends' houses and stuff like that. But I was mainly focused on like, hey, okay, like I want to just like make this shit work, and I can't be like paying rent if I want to like, pour some money into a video that I want to create or something like that. So it was kind of something I like sacrificed just to like get to where I am today, which is like still pretty dope. But if it weren't for those like little sacrifices back then, I definitely would not be in the position I am in today. Yeah. By any means.
Yeah. I think it's interesting about, I mean, there's clearly people I would imagine living in their cars in other places in the country, but I feel like that's a very common thing in LA.
Yeah.
That people spend some time out here like legit living in their car, which sounds freaking crazy. It's like you're literally living in your car to be willing to go to that length and make a sacrifice and go, I'd rather sleep in here and have the money to work with to build a potential project or a piece of content that could showcase what I'm able to do. I mean, that takes a lot, bro.
Yeah.
To be willing to see that vision and say, I need to go this way versus put the money towards obviously a roof over your head. Man, that's crazy. That's not easy to do, I would imagine.
I've lived in my car for like, not just in LA. I used to live in my car in the Bay Area too, when I first moved there.
And what were you doing up there?
Not much. This is when I was probably like, 19, 20. But, that's kind of like another whole story. I used to live with my grandmother, in Orange County, California. And, we lived in like a small trailer park, so nothing fancy or anything like that. But, I just moved out of my apartment and moved back in with my grandma. And, when I moved back in, she was kind of like, hey, we're getting evicted. You kind of got to figure something out. And she's like, you got 2 weeks. And I was like, well, shit. Like at the time I was like working at like a grocery store, and like, I was putting myself through school, at like a community college. So I was just like, well, shit, like I've visited friends in San Francisco. I love the city. Why don't I just go there and figure something out? So I think after she told me that, 2 days later, I put everything I owned in my car and just drove up to San Francisco with no plan whatsoever. And then just slept in my car for the first month, stayed at some friends' houses, same kind of thing, just like couch hopped until I found a job working at Trader Joe's.
Wow.
Yeah, in San Francisco. And then
great company.
Yeah, great company.
Great organization. I feel like nobody has anything bad to say about Trader Joe's.
Yeah.
Every time I went there today, literally every time people are happy, they're smiling.
Yeah.
The employees seem to like what they do.
Yeah.
It seems like they treat their employees well.
They do. Job sucks.
I did grocery store type job growing up.
I did grocery stores for so long growing up.
It's a good hustle, because it's flexible and it's just every grocery store needs more employees. So you can get away with it, but
couldn't complain about like the pay and all that stuff. Everything was great. It was just the repetitive. Like I was doing like shifts that were like fucking 4 a.m. to like 12, and like that was just so I had time during the day to like do stuff. So I wasn't working like a mid shift, but overall, decent company.
Wow. Right. And so what was your relationship like with your parents while you're doing these, like driving up to San Fran, living there out of your car, coming up to LA?
Yeah. So I didn't really have my parents growing up. I wasn't like close with them at all.
All youth?
Yeah, pretty much all youth. My mom's kind of like been like a drug user since I was like born, basically. And my dad passed when I was 21. So
Jeez, that wasn't long ago.
yeah.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it's all good. But yeah, my grandma's kind of been like my right hand. She's been like, you know, the person who raised me and my two siblings when we were like kids. She took us out of foster care when I was probably like 2-3 years old, something like that. So, and she raised us, me, my sister, and my brother when she was 65 years old. So she raised 3 kids, and I was a baby. You know, like that's crazy to me. I'm still like, how did you do this?
Are you the youngest of the 3?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, that is so much. That is perspective, man.
Yeah.
That is perspective.
Definitely a wild background story
Yeah.
for sure.
And do you ever have chances to communicate with your mom, or is that it's just once in a while?
It's just so shaky now because like there's been nothing that's changed since I was a kid. Like she's still using. So
out here in Southern California.
Yeah, in Southern California, like Orange County area. So it sucks, but there's nothing that I can do. I can only offer so much. I've offered to like pay for her to go to like a sobriety home or something like that, but she's got to want it for herself first. But she definitely doesn't want it. I don't think she ever will. So it's just one of those things that I can only help her so much.
How's your relationship with both your siblings?
Good, kind of. One of them I haven't talked to in 7 years.
Wow.
We just disliked each other. He was very like just an angry person in general, so we don't really talk too much. But my sister, the one I grew up with, we were like, best friends growing up. Unfortunately, she's also a user now. So she's been on drugs for a while. So it's kind of a shitty situation because seeing that transition from like being like her normal self as my sister to now like this drug user that it's someone I don't know, it kind of sucks. But and it's the same situation too. Like I've tried to reach out to her and be like, hey, what can I do to help? She was actually living at my apartment for a while. And I was helping her out just because she was like going through like a sobriety home. And I'm like, great, come live with me. Like when you get out and like, we'll kind of figure something out for you. And she relapsed 2 weeks into living with me. So it kind of sucks, but I've offered the same thing to her. I'm like, hey, if you ever want like, help paying for rehab, just like, let me know. I'd be more than happy to like help you out. But same situation. It's just like, she's got to want it before anybody else. And
totally.
It doesn't seem like she does quite yet.
How have you been able to keep yourself so grounded? I mean, man, it's just so fucking eye-opening doing podcasts, and like you don't understand, and I've learned this through countless of interviews. You don't know somebody's full story until you start asking questions. Yep. So outside looking in, people can make assumptions based on they see where Adrian's today. He's successful. He's flying around with the NELK Boys. They're taking private jets. They're partying in the hills. He's got dope ass tattoos. Like they just it's common for people to size you up and go, this guy's successful. Everything's got to be perfect for him. But when I hear that shit and hearing where you come from and some of the things that you've had to do to get to where you are today, it's fucking eye-opening, bro. And it's admirable because I can only speak from my own perspective. Yeah. And I'm somebody who was raised by 2 parents. And I've seen where I grew up in Massachusetts, I've seen the ripple effect of drugs, but it hasn't, or anything within that realm, alcohol. I've seen alcohol affect my family, but nothing really to the scale that I know drugs can hurt people. And so I sit here, I'm like, you privileged son of a bitch, me, because it's like, all we know is everything is relative to our own story and our own lives and what we're used to. So what could be a challenge for me might be the biggest success for somebody else. For sure. Because I'm just so used to this life that I live, and something that is a challenge for you could be successful. It can go so many ways, but it's just so eye-opening when you actually take the time and you ask people questions and you allow them to just speak and to share things like that. It's, I mean, I just, much respect, man. Appreciate it. I can only imagine the amount of mental energy it has taken you to deal with that, compartmentalize it, and then say, now it's time to go focus on me.
Yeah.
Like that's something I like when you're saying there's only so much I can do. I can keep offering help. That mindset is incredible because you're recognizing that, and it probably took you a long time to build that. You're recognizing there's only so much I can do. And at some point I got to go do my thing. I got to go live my own life. I got to keep crushing it, because if I keep focusing on something that I can't really control, you're never going to make progress, and you're never actually going to live a fulfilled life.
For sure. That's what, I mean, I feel the same kind of way, because I'm just like, life's about more than just like, you know, dropping everything and just, you know, starting drugs or something. Like a lot of my friends today even said like, hey bro, like your life was set up for failure. Like you should not be in the position you are in, but you're only in the position you're in because you worked your ass off and you didn't fall down that staircase that your family has been through. So it's kind of a cool thing to see. Like there's not very many of my family members that are successful. A lot of my family has been, you know, addicted to drugs or something like that. There's not very many I think most of my siblings are either on drugs or have been on drugs. So, and I have an older sister, different one than I was just telling you about. And she's the event planner, and she's got her head on straight. And we always talk, and we're just like, you know, how are we the only ones that are just like, you know, level-headed and got our shit together? It's kind of crazy. Like all of our other siblings just kind of like fell down like a hole, and we just kind of kept our shit together. Yeah. So it's,
you know, I wish nothing like that upon nobody. Mm-hmm. But I think you are going to only continue to appreciate your success so much fucking more than people that are born into privileged situations, because they'll never be able to level with something of like what you've been through. Yeah. Which for something that nobody deserves to go through, it actually puts you at an advantage, because you've had these really low moments in situations where you had to fucking saddle up, buckle up, and make shit happen for yourself.
For sure, yeah.
And then you have somebody who maybe is born into money, and you know, parents are just handing them everything. They're going to expect everything in their life to be handed to them on a fucking golden platter.
That's why I'm almost like grateful for the situation I was put in, because I don't feel like I'd be in the position I'm in today if it weren't for all those like troubled past times. Because I feel like if everything's handed to me, I kind of would have like just been so keen on like just putting my hand out and being like, okay, what can I have more? But now it's just like I was taught, like, if you want something, you go get it. That's it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. I wasn't given much as a kid. You know, me and my grandma we were broke. We were, you know, living off Social Security, you know, food stamps, the whole nine. And if it weren't for that kind of stuff, I definitely wouldn't have like figured out like, hey, now I know I need to work to be successful, because I only want the best for my future kids or something like that. Because I don't want my kids growing up the way I did. It's just to put it in like a simple statement.
Is your grandma still here today?
Yeah, she is.
What's her name?
Marie.
Grandma Marie.
Yeah, I got Nana tattooed on my wrist.
Let's give a shout out to Nana, Grandma Marie.
Let's go.
For turning this man into the amazing individual that he is today. Shout out to you, Grandma Marie. You sound like a wonderful woman, and thank you for what you've done, because it's very clear that you've raised this man to a very aspiring and fucking hungry individual.
Yep. Yes,
that is amazing, man.
Shout out to Nana.
Shout out to Nana.
Shout out to Nana, man.
Man, beautiful.
Yeah.
I feel like this is just the early part of the podcast, bro. We have so much that we're still going to go through. So this is what I'm talking about. This is the shit we need to hear.
Yeah.
This is what people need to hear, man. They got to hear where people come from. They got to hear how you got to this point in your life. Yeah. And that this shit just didn't come to life, and now you're doing all this dope shit. Like you had to go through some shit to get here.
For sure. And I get a lot of DMs from kids a lot of times, like, oh, you're so lucky with Nelk, and like how do I do this? How do I get in this position? It's just like, dude, just put your head down and work. Like, just if you want something, if anyone out there actually wants something, you can obtain anything you could ever dream of. Just put your head down and work towards it.
Totally.
Don't take anyone's bullshit. That's the one thing I've been like, even still to this day, like learning a lot to myself. Just like, don't take anyone's bullshit. Don't take anyone's judgment. If anyone laughs at you for what you're doing, tell them to go fuck themselves and just keep working. That's it. That's all you got to do is put your head down and work.
Put the blinders on, baby.
Yeah,
you got to get to
straight
work.
up.
Yep. When you can learn to do that, the sky's the limit.
Oh my
it
God,
becomes less about will I ever do blank to the perspective changes to when will this happen. It's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. And so when you convince yourself and you continuously tell yourself, I'm going to be successful. The whole manifestation and saying like positive affirmations, I really believe in like, if you got to do that to start your day and remind yourself of like where you're headed, the goals you're trying to reach, just being your biggest hype man or your biggest hype woman, that shit goes a long, long way. And that's going to be the biggest thing that when you hit those speed bumps or you get people talking shit on social media, you just ignore it.
Yeah.
Like I had somebody, subtweet me like 2 weeks ago on Twitter, and I just quote tweeted. They said, "Yo, that dude Bobby from Massachusetts is a fucking clown." And I knew it was me because I had just posted a video the day before about talking about being from Massachusetts and like wanted to like, no matter where this world takes me, I'm always gonna rep Massachusetts, my home.
Yeah.
And a homie of mine sent me that tweet. He's like, "Yo, is this dude talking about you?" And the kid that tweeted about me was from our area. I don't personally know him. And I'm just like, I'm just operating at such a different level in my life right now that I literally quote tweeted that dude. And I tweeted at him. I said, "Hey man, respect the opinion. I'm not a big fan of putting this type of energy into the world. I'm somebody that like, if I have something good to say, I'll say it. If not, I keep it to myself.
For sure.
But hey, you do your thing. I wish you nothing but a successful and healthy rest of your year. Have a great day."
Yeah.
And it felt fucking good because I don't need that shit, bro.
I
don't have time and energy to give to your level where you're so caught up in you don't even know what you're doing. So you got to put your nose into my business.
Yep.
You got to consume what I'm doing, formulate an opinion, and post that shit to the world.
Yeah.
I don't got time for that, bro.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
working. I'm hustling.
Yeah.
So if you got some bad shit to say, I'm going to send a bunch of positivity back to you because I have empathy for you. You're somebody that needs to figure your shit out because you're so caught up in other people's business. You don't even have something you're focused on.
Yeah.
So that's from like, bro, all day. Send me that negativity.
It's those type of people that are just focused on other people's doings and not their own shit.
Totally.
Like, it sucks, but like, I feel like certain people get it in the future and certain people don't. But the people that do understand, like, what's the fucking point?
No.
What are you benefiting?
Nothing.
But they don't realize it because they're caught up in their own little world. That's just like, oh yeah, let's just preach all this negativity. It's like, what's that gonna do?
No.
It's not gonna do anything.
Ain't got nothing time for that, baby.
No.
Ain't got nothing time for that.
Hell no.
All right, so we got a lot of stuff I still want to touch on. We barely scratched the surface with Nelk. What's been some of your most favorite projects you've been a part with them?
It's got to be like our merch shoots and stuff like that.
Really?
Like, yeah.
Not even the print. I know like the team is probably scaled so much, but somebody like yourself, are you still touching a lot of different things? Do you focus just on merch? Are you doing some of like the pranks?
I do everything.
Yeah, of course. I figured that's what it was.
It's because I was one of the early people that were hired like on the team as one of the main videographers. So I was kind of like, now I'm in charge of like, vlogging everything everywhere we go, always making sure like the camera's rolling and we got all that footage that we need for that day, whatever it may be. When it comes to the pranks, like we have another guy we hired recently, his name's Jay, but we're kind of like slowly teaching him how to like shoot pranks on cameras because he was Salim the Dream's old videographer and they would just film a phone. So now we like put a camera in his hand. We're like, okay, you got to have balls to shoot these pranks because people get pissed and they will fight you. So
I've seen some of these, bro. Some of this footage, bro, is fucking gnarly, bro.
Some of our shit is fucked up. Yeah, it is crazy. It is fucking wild. But that's the thing. You gotta have balls when you shoot these pranks. So like this kid Jay, he's got balls, and we're like, hey, I don't give a fuck if you don't know how to use this camera. I'll teach you because you don't give a shit. You'll point it at people even if they're about to punch you. So it's those type of people we need on this team. But yeah, I'd shoot the pranks. I shoot anytime we go out for like a night at a club or a party. Like I'm shooting all that stuff, B-roll, vlog, and just like have my hands in like I feel like 20 to 1,000 different pockets or something like that. Yeah. It's kind of crazy.
But you probably I bet that keeps it. it probably keeps it fun because you're using, even though it's all creative, there's a different creative part of your brain. Like if you're out shooting at the clubs, like that's just constant flow of like everything is happening versus if you're doing a creative shoot for the clothing line, like that's a whole different creative process. So I would imagine doing a bunch of different buckets is probably good because it's balancing you all out instead of just getting burnt out of shooting the same vlog every time you guys
I feel like
go
if
out.
I was doing like merch shoots constantly, like over and over and over again, I'd probably get burnt out. You're 100% right. So it is kind of cool that like it's like a different dynamic when like I'm shooting merch or like we're going out to a party and I got to get B-roll that night, or it's like, let's get vlog footage this night, or a merch shoot or a prank. Like just making sure you're in like, you know, all these different avenues of like film for one YouTube channel is kind of cool because I'm not getting completely just like ran dry of just like, oh, I'm over this prank. I don't want to shoot this anymore. Or something like that. So it is kind of cool.
So is there any favorite pranks that come to mind? It doesn't have to be like top, like it's the favorite one, but like are there some that easily?
Yeah. I don't know if anyone's listening or if you have seen our wine tour.
I probably have. I've tried to like skip around a bunch just to make sure I have high level context, but give me some context.
Our fans are personal favorites.
Was this recent? Actually, was the wine one recent?
No, our last wine one was in Italy. We've done two. We've done one in Napa and one in Italy.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty fucked. But yeah, those are just like guerrilla style run and gun shooting. There's no prank cameras. It's just me with the vlog camera and the boys just go absolutely insane. And I'm not, it's like, it's cool because like we're also like in it too. Like in the videos, like Kyle says like, all right, boys, like the videographer's got to get drunk. Like no need for a sober videographer during these type shoots. So me and Austin are usually like shooting those and we're just getting drunk with the whole team and just absolutely creating mayhem for these wine tours.
Wow.
So it's fun. And like, I don't know, we've had some fucked up shit happen during those wine tours.
Oh, I bet.
It's like those run and gun style videos. We just did another one that was like, we did a prank on like a Bigfoot enthusiast.
Bro.
Did you watch that one?
Bro.
Yeah.
Bro.
So many people thought that was fake. So many people.
Really?
Yeah.
They thought the old guy.
They were like, you guys hired an actor.
No, come on.
And I'm just like, dude, if we did, I don't even think the actor could have done as good as this guy did. It was real to a T. Like the whole time I was shooting, I was just like, no fucking way. This is not happening. None of this is happening.
They had to take off their shirt and like hug each other.
Like, bro, like I'm telling you, like, and this character development before this video was so crazy because it was literally Kyle and Salim in this car talking about like, what can we do? Like, let's give Salim a character. Like, your name is gonna be Rafiki, and you're gonna be like a sensitive, like you'll get scared at certain points, be like, like, you know, like that type of shit. And then he's just like, oh, it's also have you be deaf, like as a side note. And the character was crazy.
Yeah.
That sold the whole bit.
Yeah.
It was so funny.
Well, dude, this is what I love. People are seeing the product, but they're not even thinking about the creative process behind the scenes of like the conversations that you guys are all like. This is not just like, it's just all these guys are just running.
Yeah.
It's not, it is run and gun, but the fact that you guys are like talking this through and like thinking it through each character.
Yeah.
Literally, these guys are actors. Like Salim's an actor, Kyle's an actor, like because they can play that character for
sure.
this skit, and it's incredible.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. And the lead up to that was so crazy too, because like we have a producer and he's based in Canada, and we're like talking to him. We're like, hey, we need like a Bigfoot enthusiast. You got to find someone in this area in Portland. And he's sending us all these people, like this guy knows this guy knows that. We're on the phone with like all these people trying to get a tour, and it's like sounding bad. It's like Saturday. We post on Monday, and I'm like, we're all like shaking. We're like, what are we gonna do? We have no video. We only have like, you know, crap so far. So we're just like, how are we gonna like finesse this video? And Kyle was just like, we have to make this like Bigfoot video go crazy. So we were like doing all this stuff to like try to hype it up. We went, me and like a couple of the assistants, we drove to like some random forest, put one of our assistants in this giant Bigfoot costume, and we like got an iPhone clip of him walking through the forest to send to news stations. So like the hype around like Portland area, like, oh, there's a Bigfoot, he's around here, just so this Bigfoot enthusiast that we're trying to work with saw that. It didn't end up going on the news, but we tried to. We sent it to like every news outlet.
Wow.
None of them took it, but it looked like a legit video. I can show it to you after like we
it
finished.
looks legit.
It's so funny. So funny. But yeah, so much work behind the scenes, and then like finally like we hit with this one guy, and then our producer's like, I think this is the guy. Like he's been doing this for 20 plus years. He believes like Bigfoot is real, and we think this could be like a potentially good guy. And we're like, okay, like talk to him on the phone for like 5 minutes, and then we're like, okay, fuck it, let's just run it. Let's just like show up and see if he actually like is a believer. And we showed up, and he was a believer. Like, he was a Bigfoot enthusiast.
Oh yeah,
he knew everything.
Yeah, he was like a perfect person for it.
Oh my god, it doesn't get much better. Like it does not get much better. It was crazy.
Salim's good, man.
Oh my god,
his videos of the
like, the moaning in people's ears,
bro,
it's so funny.
Shit. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Dude, and his ability to keep a straight face.
Yeah, he's like
even keel.
Yeah,
these people turn around, literally like want to beat the shit out of him. And he just straight face,
just stares straight at him. Yeah, dead stares him straight in the eyes. He's crazy with it. Yeah, when he films like and he knows what character he has to portray, he'll fully shut off.
He's just ready to go.
Yeah, he'll fully shut off and just become that character. It is hilarious. He's one of the funniest people, because before we signed him, we were kind of like talking with him, and I was like watching his videos. I was crying because I
didn't know he previously was already doing his own YouTube stuff.
He wasn't doing YouTube, but he was like big. He was pretty big on IG. I think he had like 950K at the time, and he was blowing up. Like his shit was dope. Like his pranks were hilarious. And then eventually we got him on our team, and now his shit's been just going crazy. Like,
wow.
Yeah, he is funny. He comes up with funny ideas.
You guys are still delivering every single Monday, even through COVID. You guys have still delivered for the most part,
except when we're on our breaks. Like right now, we're just like on our like 1 month break, so we're not posting right now. So
what inspires that to do a break?
Oh, we just run dry. Like 2 months of on the road, just like filming constantly, like every day. It's just like our whole team is just gassed after 2 months. So then now we've done this system where like we do our merch drop the last day of the last Monday of our tour, and then we take a month off, and then we like reset, get things in play, start like scheduling videos and stuff like that, and then we jump right back into it for another 2 months, and then we have another merch drop at the end of those 2 months.
So it's pretty much 2 months on, 1 month off, 2 months on, 1 month off.
Yeah, but it didn't always used to be like that.
Used to be every Monday probably.
It used to be every Monday for like, I think we did like, I don't know, I couldn't even tell you, like did like 16 videos in a row. And I was just like gassed. I was like, when do we stop? Like,
well, yeah, because I think when you're trying to grow and trying to prove a point, not even just in the YouTube world, but just in general, because I've dealt with this in my own past like podcasting experience and getting burnt out. When you're trying to grow and prove to the world this thing that you want to build, the only way to do that is by continuously executing. And so that if there's ever a time you don't show up and deliver, which for you guys would be that Monday video, you think you're not growing, or you're letting the community down, or you're not making progress. But in reality, sometimes those breaks, which I'm sure you guys have all found, allows you to come back even sharper, allows you guys to think bigger and, bring bigger ideas to the table. But if you continuously are just chasing every 6 days that new video, you're never going to grow the actual production, because it's always just like run and gun 6 days out.
It's nice to have a break and like reset and get a fresh head and then come up with some ideas. Because even though we say like we get a 1 month break, for like anyone who's listening, like that doesn't understand like how we work, like we don't really stop. It's like still like we say like, yeah, we're taking a month break off, but it's all pre-planning, all pre-production, setting up like dates for our next merch drops, solidifying designs. And we're also starting like a few other things now. We're like doing like a NELK seltzer, and we're also doing like, does public know about that yet? Or is that we've posted it to our story before.
Oh, but that's massive.
Yeah, we just started a new seltzer brand called Happy Dads.
Massive.
Hasn't been out yet. We've just been like taste testing a lot of seltzers, so we're trying to figure out like what's going to be the best. And then we're also doing like a weed thing with like, we're going to start like our own like weed like brand, I guess. It's just going to be like, joints, pre-rolls, just kind of the whole nine, like little cartons of nugs and stuff like that. So it's going to be pretty crazy. Like this is the month we've been like, okay, like let's get all these things into play. Merch is doing good. Now let's, pour some money back into the seltzer, into the weed, and into like, full send girls or full send fitness, stuff like that.
So it was probably 2 weeks ago you guys were in New Jersey at the house.
Yeah.
So I'm fucking, minding my business, scrolling through social media. I don't know if it was Kyle's page or if it was the NELK page, but a video pops up in my feed, and I always get fucking hyped when I see something related because I know it's going to be hilarious. And so it's a clip of you guys all in the New Jersey house, in the Jersey Shore house. You guys are all fired up about like, yo, it was like 150K people literally sitting on the website waiting for the drop to come. And then somebody goes and opens the door, and I see like, I don't know, 5 like police cars, and there's like 500. So it was like, you could tell the energy inside the house, like you guys were all fired up, and it felt so crazy. That door opens, and then there's 500 people, and there's police. Because I didn't know the context yet. I hadn't seen like Instagram stories yet. I didn't realize like there was a lot of hype at the Jersey Shore because you guys were there. Yeah. But I was like, this is unbelievable, the amount of people that pulled up just to see you guys and to be part of that. And then you also have 150K people waiting online. The merch, I'm really curious just to kind of get like your thoughts on it. Just like full send, like what other than obviously people love the content. It's fucking cracking people up. It's hilarious. You guys do some reckless shit. I don't have the balls to do 99% of that stuff. But why do you think people are buying full send? What is that? What does full send mean to you?
I don't know. I mean, to me personally, I don't know. It just means like do whatever you do to the best of your abilities, and don't ever look back. Just don't even think twice. But yeah, like the brand itself is just like, people love it because it's just like, obviously it's like so tied in with like the YouTube channel. It's like our fans kind of have like a connection to us because like it's almost like we talk to them as like, yo, what's up, boys? How are you? Like stuff like that. So like I feel like we've built so much of a connection with our fans. So they fuck with us so heavy. Like everywhere we go, it's just all love from our fans. Like we didn't post a single story saying we were going to New Jersey. And when we show up to the Jersey Shore house, there's already like 5-6 fans outside waiting. And we're like, how, like just me personally, I was like, how do you guys know we're here? And they were just like, oh, we just heard over like social media that you guys were coming here. And I think it's because we bought a billboard in Seaside. And kind of like just put our marketing on there, and like kids saw that because I think someone posted on their story, and then it just kind of spread around. So the minute we posted a story, more and more fans started showing up, and then by the time like nighttime hit, we had 2,000 kids outside. 2,000? We had 2,000 kids outside originally, because we had talked to Seaside Police beforehand. We were like, hey, we're coming to New Jersey in a couple of days. We're gonna need some police officers around our house. We'll pay you guys whatever it costs, just to like make sure we're safe, because we don't know if like this shit's gonna blow up.
You guys have to do that every time you travel?
We usually roll with security now. We have to. There's no other way. Like we just get
so you
bombarded.
literally call the city police and say, hey, we're this YouTube group, or obviously whoever the assistant is or management is, and they say, yeah, we're a YouTube group. We cause we do pranks.
Yeah.
Bring in the SWAT team. We're gonna need them all.
It was almost pretty much like that. But no, but we only hired 2 police officers on in the beginning. We had 2 police officers and our 2 personal security. And we're just like, okay, this should be enough. Hopefully. No. We ended up having 4 different precincts from surrounding cities come, and we had probably, I would say, close to like 30 cops just trying to contain these kids.
Wow.
It was fucked. Like I could not believe like the amount of like people that showed up that day, and they were just like obviously getting reckless, like kids getting like way too out of hand, just getting like dropped in our front, like literally our front steps, trying to get up to the door and shit like that. And it was just like something out of a movie. Like never would expect that type of shit to happen.
Yeah. I mean, I'm curious, like obviously for like Kyle or Steve, you know, these are like just in general, Kyle, Steve, Jesse, the front runners, you could say, are like the main faces, right? It's probably a cool thing in the moment. Like you got all these people out front. It's like, it is a pat on the back of everyone at NELK. Like we built this fan base, we built this community, like people support us. But then at some point I feel like that's got to get like so obnoxiously annoying, because you're just like, I can't even like chill at this house right now without hearing and dealing with all this bullshit. So how are these guys dealing with this, obviously this growth of this channel and you know, people like yourself who obviously I think people know who you are and you're associated with them, but you can fly a little bit more under the radar than obviously people like them who are the front and the face of it. But How have they How have they been in those environments when you have 2,000 people up front, people are fucking screaming?
Yeah,
you guys can't even just chill and have dinner. You have to deal with all this craziness.
Yeah, it's definitely, I see it from like their perspective. I definitely get that it's frustrating, but like at the end of the day, we do love our fans. Like that's what makes like, you know, NELK run. But sometimes when it's just like, you know, us chilling, having dinner, and like, you know, all of a sudden we post one story and then we have 30 kids outside. It's just like, that's when it, like, I could tell in their face, they're just like, fuck man, we just want to eat. We just want to have like a relaxing like dinner. But we've been more grounded on like, okay, no phones, no social media, certain places. We can't be posting here or there just because we don't want
a little snippet. Everybody's gonna be like, yo, I think they're here.
It's crazy. Like, even if I posted a story, like if, you know, if we're traveling, especially when we're traveling, because that's when it's all hype, and someone that following me sees that story, they'll send it to their friends and then they all show up. So now it's just like no longer like, nobody's can they posting. Just post? Like, even like videographers, no posting, like editors, no posting, assistants, no posting, like just in case like that one fan does see it and then they spread it around to their friends. Wow. So it is like our fan base is crazy. Like, they find us wherever we go. They find, it is wild. It's something I've never seen before.
And there's got to be a lot of moments too that even when you guys aren't posting, like you guys pull up somewhere to I think there was a recent video you guys were at a gas station. I think when you guys were heading on this recent tour, you guys are filling up gas in the middle of nowhere, and like 4 guys pull up and like they were freaking out, like, yo, we're huge fans, and they acted like Steve was in the van, then Steve came out of the van, and they're like, holy shit, they're going crazy. I don't know.
It is wild, like seeing that stuff is so crazy. It's just like, it's dope though. It's like, from my point of view, I think like, oh, that's so cool, but it's just like, I'm like, but they can't go anywhere. They can't go anywhere without being recognized. Like, no matter where we go, like, fans will find us. And now we drive, like, when we're on the road, we drive like a Sprinter van, and we wrapped it and we put full send on the side, which I think was probably a mistake. So
it's subtle though. It's subtle though.
It's very subtle. We thought it was subtle. Yeah. Because it's like black on black full send. Yeah. And now
it's fire though. I get it. The branding is like, you want to rep your brand.
Yeah. Imagine if we put like a giant white full send.
Well, imagine when you get an actual tour bus style shit. You know what I'm saying? Like but the problem is you're putting a target on your van, because now it's like clear. Yeah. This is the full send van.
Yeah. Because now fans look for that. Yeah. When they know we're in a state, they'll look for that van. And now it's just such a dead giveaway. Yeah. We're asking for it essentially. Just like we were in Illinois. I don't know if you saw. We didn't actually post any of this footage, but we were in Illinois, and it was such a casual night. We were debating on whether like we wanted to even do anything, because we were just stopping in Illinois for a night and then leaving the next morning, and we're all kind of like sitting at dinner. We're like, okay, what do we want to do? And we're all like, should we like go to this college and see if we can get some footage? Like, I don't know, like. And then Kyle's like, maybe we can bring some flags and just give it to some of the like fraternities or sororities. And I was just like, okay, yeah, like, let's just do it. Nothing. Like, I was like, there's going to be nothing that's going to happen. So we bring one security guard, because we're just like, it's probably not going to be anything crazy. And I feel like the whole town shut down and just tried to find us. It was the most insane experience I've ever dealt with in my life. And it's just like, we walked into like one fraternity house, and all of a sudden, like, we look around us, and there's like, you couldn't see the road. Like, there were so many kids surrounding us. And I'm just like, holy shit. Our security guard had his fucking night cut out for him. That's for sure. I bet. Yeah.
Well, dude, you guys are all so I think Kyle's 26. Steve, I'm 26. So I know, I feel what I'm about to say. I feel comfortable if I was in his shoes. Steve's just turned 22, I think. Steve's 22. Jesse's a little bit older. He's like 27.
He's 27, yeah.
You're 25. And then obviously there's a team of other people. You guys are at that age where it's like acceptable to be like rolling through a college campus and raging. It's like you're in your 20s. It's like, it's fine. Obviously, if you were in your like mid 30s, it might get a little weird, because it's like you guys are in your 30s. It could just be taken the wrong way. Yeah. But I'm just like, dude, imagine I'm 26, so it's like you're just rolling up and people are just going fucking madness just to see you guys, or like want to rage with you guys, and it's like the perfect age for all of you guys to be going through this like crazy growth period, because it's just acceptable to be doing this. I mean, the pranks, I'm not here to back the pranks, because I know there's a lot of shit people are like, illegal, shouldn't be doing this, causing trouble, blah, blah, blah. But
the media puts us in such a bad light.
There's been a lot of stuff recently, too. I've been seeing a lot of bad.
Just what I was telling you, like the Illinois thing.
Yeah.
Like the media, the media bashed us, and they said like we threw a party in Illinois at like the college campus, and that we just showed up. That was all we did. And then of course the media is going to go online and like the mayor's talking about us.
Also, the college that wants to make sure that it's not them.
Yeah,
it wasn't their students.
Exactly.
Nobody else is gonna.
So of course we're gonna take the hit on that, and then like I don't know, blows up on social media. Then all these other like YouTube news outlets are just like, NELK Boys throw a party in like Illinois or New Jersey. Like New Jersey did the same thing. Like all these fans that were outside are just like, it's the highlight was like NELK Boys throw massive party at the Jersey Shore house, and it's like not the case. It's all fake news.
Clickbait.
Yeah, it's just clickbait at the end of the day. But
it's annoying.
It's just what we got to deal with.
You're gonna deal with that for the rest of this career with them.
It's not gonna die out anytime soon.
You gotta
just
gonna embrace
get worse.
it now.
Yeah, so
you just gotta embrace it.
But we're also like we're not like we're like a rated R YouTube channel, so like our fans don't give a fuck. They're not like, oh, you should be wearing masks and like COVID. Like they're just like they don't care as much, so they're just like whatever. Yeah. Like that's funny. That's funny to them.
There's one thing I've learned about content and just in general, even if this is like building a business, it doesn't even matter. There's a market for everything. Yeah. So if you're clicking in, you don't like this content, keep it moving.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just not made for you.
That's why our fan base is our fan base for a reason.
Totally.
Yeah.
But the beauty in it, there's always a market for something.
For sure.
There's people out there that have YouTube channels showing how to play a piano, and they have hundreds of thousands of subscribers. There's people like you guys who do these comedy skits and pranks, millions of subscribers. There's like we were talking about earlier, a Yes Theory group. They're all about seeking discomfort, millions of subscribers. There's always a market. You just gotta find the right people, and the right people got to find you, and then that community just kind of grows and grows and grows.
Very true. Yeah, that is true.
Do you live at the Full Send house?
Yeah.
How many people live in that house?
Jesus.
Too many?
Yeah, too many. It's so nuts. That's the only reason why I didn't say come to my house, because I was like,
we probably have people come knocking on your door,
dude,
like
assistants knocking on my door. Someone's playing beer pong outside. Two people are working out, blasting music.
It would have been gnarly.
Yeah, our chef's like great guy, but he's just like blasting, like he's like a Jamaican, or he's like, I think he's Jamaican or something like that. But yeah, he's like,
it would have been gnarly. We would not have this peace and quiet with the fucking birds chirping.
You don't know how good this feels. Just to get peace and quiet is just is rare. Like it's not a thing in our house. It's just mayhem constantly, like every night, regardless of what time it is. Like it's just like music blasting, like someone's getting drunk. But yeah, we have probably, I think like 13, 14 people living in the house right now.
Wow.
So it's an 8-bedroom house. So it fits a lot of people, but we have like 4 of our back end guys living with us too. And
back end as in what?
One of them's our full send fitness like designer. One's our full send outdoors designer. The other one's our manager, and the other one is our product developer. So they all share
Holy shit. You guys got a fucking team, bro.
Yeah, it's crazy. We have a massive team right now. It's actually wild. But they all share the theater room. So they're all in that room, and then everyone else is kind of like spread out throughout the house. Obviously, like Steve has his own room. Kyle, Jesse, their own rooms. Our other videographer, Austin, his own room. I have my own room downstairs. Our social media guy has his own room. Jay and Salim, they share a room downstairs.
Bunk beds, right?
Yeah.
I seen a recent video. I think Salim was saying dump water on his ass.
Yeah.
Yeah. God damn.
Yeah. So we have a massive, load of people who live in the house, it's just mayhem constantly. So, but it's cool. I definitely cannot complain.
So do you guys ever get people actually showing up at the house? Do people know the address?
Oh, always. Yeah. Every time. I feel like a lot recently.
This weekend, anybody? Or
I actually wasn't here this weekend, so okay. I don't know.
Okay.
But even when I was leaving today, or no, when I got back because I was just in the Bay, but when I got back, I drove up to my house and there was a girl just waiting outside, just like trying
by
to
herself.
Yeah, just like trying to leave a note, and she was just like, she looked at me and she was like, oh my god, like can I give you this
to
give to the boys?
Had to guess?
I don't know, like 20, 21.
She was trying to leave a note. What did you bring it up or did you read the note? What did
I brought it in. I was just like, hey, there's a girl, like to Jesse. I was like, hey, there's a girl that want to leave a note here.
For Jesse specifically, or
no, I think it was just for NELK in general. But yeah, people drop off packages all the time. Like usually when I walk outside, I feel like 90% of the time there will be somebody outside just like chilling, or like there's been kids like holding flags and like group of kids just like we've had parties and like fans have been trying to like come in or something like that. It's just like,
oh my god,
there's never a dull moment. Like I'll leave my house and like I'll notice like a car is following me, and I'm like, I'm going to get groceries. Like there's no point. Like it's just like
shit.
It's just wild. It's just absolutely insane.
Yeah, I mean, dude, with a tight community like that, I'm sure there's people, both male and females, that will do anything to try to get the attention of the team.
Yeah, it's actually crazy. It is a wild fan base that we have. We absolutely love it, but it's a lot at times. There's no secrecy anymore. It's always, we're out in the open now.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, even just when you guys did the recent drop, and then even today, I was just like clicking around the website. It's amazing how much merch there is that you guys are offering, from like jerseys to fitness gear. Shout out to the shorts you brought me today. I'm fucking stoked to wear those.
You'll love those. Those are sick.
There's like swimsuits. There's like all these things. I'm like, I didn't even know I could potentially need this, but if I'm like in the community and I'm all in, this is shit that people want to buy. It's stuff for their license plate.
Yeah, it's all, I mean, we have accessories. We're trying to like build this thing that's kind of like, we don't want to become like a Zoomies. We want to like branch this into like something that's supreme. So like we've really been like focusing this hardcore month that's like our break on like higher quality clothing. So whether that may be like, you know, more or less like designer type like jackets, or like jean jackets with like stitch prints, and like just really go like that next level with high quality like gear. So we're not just like, of course we're still gonna have like the graphic tees and stuff like those, like that stuff's still so dope, but now we're gonna like up our quality and go crazy with like this next drop, and it's gonna be like, you know, the high ticketed items are gonna be like exclusive. Like if you're gonna get this, you're gonna have only one chance, and it's a hot item, so it's gonna go.
Wow.
Yeah,
it's massive. It's you guys too. I've been seeing recently. There's a couple people I follow on Twitter that are just very in tune to just like the YouTube creator space, and they like write up blogs on just like what's happening in real time. And I've seen a lot of credit go towards NELK kind of being the leaders in of like this next paywall for content, which I think the closest thing anybody has ever seen before would be Patreon, but it's not your platform, it's somebody else's platform that you're taking a percentage. What's the story behind like this NELK paywall, and how long ago did that start, and what's been like some of the benefits? How did that come to life? Yeah,
Kyle, I think they did their first merch shop like years and years ago.
NELK started what, 2015?
Yeah, they've been around for almost 6 years.
Wow.
So they've been around for a while. They were hustling and grinding even before I was even on the team. Like they've been doing this for time. So it's been a while.
Same concept, pranks, crazy ass shit.
Yeah, same thing.
Gnarly.
Yeah, just super, super insane content. Same thing that we're doing today. Now we just have higher budgets to do stuff. So it's definitely cool to see that. But yeah, they did their first merch drop like a really long time ago. And I remember from what I was told, they didn't have the money to front their first merch drop. So I think Kyle's parents fronted them the money. They fronted Kyle and Jesse the money to do their first merch drop. And I think it was like a hoodie and a tee. That was it. And it sold quick, like sold out. And I think that's when like the light switched, and they were like, oh shit, we can make money off this. Like we could actually like fund this like YouTube channel, because they're not making dirt from YouTube. YouTube doesn't pay us a single dollar. So
how recently did they stop demonetizing you guys?
They fully demonetized us. Jersey Shore House.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So Illinois House, or Illinois college trip. So fully took us off anything, not getting paid a single dollar, which it wasn't a big deal, because like we weren't getting paid much from them regardless. But now we officially make $0 from YouTube. And
can they still run ads on do they have the right to do that?
Yeah.
It's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, but
because as a creator, I can choose not to run ads, and then I'm not getting paid, but they're not allowed to run ads on top of mine.
So we use a lot of copyright music. So regardless, I think they're going to run ads to pay that.
Totally. Yep. That overrides it. Yep.
Yeah. So And that's why like we literally like every video was demonetized just because we're using like Kid Leroy or Drake or something like that. So because we don't care about the money on YouTube.
You gotta get Drake in a video.
Yeah. Oh, it's gonna happen soon. It's gonna happen.
I believe that.
He followed us recently.
Canada too, dude. Oh my god, epiphany. Light
I know.
moment.
He fucks with us.
Oh,
yeah.
bro.
We were talking to
He could house you guys at the fucking in his new crib in Toronto,
I know.
dude.
Yeah.
He got the bedrooms.
It would be crazy, but yeah, Carnage linked us with him, and
no big deal.
Yeah. And
Carnage linked us.
Yeah, and he showed Drake a bunch of our videos, and then Drake followed us that same day, and he was like,
"Did you guys go crazy?"
Yeah.
Did
oh my
whole
god, that was like
nuts?
Yeah, we were ecstatic. We were like, "What the fuck? Like this is crazy." And then like, yeah, I don't know, that was like a huge stepping stone. We're like, whoa, like whenever someone follows us that we're like big on, we end up meeting with 99% of the time.
Yeah.
So it's gonna happen in the future. I don't know
You
when.
heard it here, first, folks.
Yeah.
When this does happen in like 6 months, I'm gonna come back, cut this clip, post it to social, and be like, "Yo, we got this shit documented."
Finally
Hit me
met with
up.
them. Yeah, just like the whole the 6ix9ine situation. Like,
bro, that was fucking. When I saw you guys were linked with him, I was like, "Holy shit!"
And that was so wild. So we linked with him twice now.
Were you obviously you were there for that?
Yeah. Both times. It was
Is he roll deep security?
Oh my god, yeah.
How many people?
Like he has at least 7 security with him.
7.
Yeah, like big, just like the biggest dudes you've ever seen in your life. Like I'm just like, whoa, like he does not.
Did you guys have to go through something to then like actually have him? Like, did they send security ahead of time to scout anything, or was it?
No, they kind of all like. So the first video we did with him, they all kind of just like rolled up together, but he didn't get out of the car. They got out and like kind of like they all split into different areas. One came over, talked to us, made sure we were all good. And the others like checked the perimeter.
Are we talking
around.
like SWAT style type security?
Yeah, like guns, like hip guns, like guns on their leg. Like they don't fuck around. And they made sure they told us like they were just like I remember asking like because Kyle was talking to 6ix9ine in the car before we were shooting, kind of giving him the rundown of what we were doing. And I was like, "Do you mind if I go in the car and film this?" And then security's like, he's just like, "No." He's like, "Don't you dare step foot in that car." He's like, "You guys are gonna listen to me and do everything that I like tell you to do." And he's like, "And if you do not comply with my orders, we're gonna have a huge problem, and you're gonna find out soon what I'm talking about." I'm like, Jesus, like holy fuck. And he's like, and he just made sure like he's like, "No phones. If I see a phone out, I'm personally gonna break it in half." Like they don't fuck around.
Wow.
So it's wild. It's such a wild process. But yeah, I remember we were like jokingly talking about it because it was Steve's birthday coming up, and we were just like, what do we get Steve? Because like he's obviously got the money to get whatever he'd ever want, and so we're just like figuring out like what can we surprise him with. And I was like, dude, we got to surprise him with like someone he loves. And I was just like, I recommended like Trailer Park Boys because he loves Trailer Park Boys. And then Kyle recommended like, what about 6ix9ine? And I was just like, I don't know, we could reach out to our producer, see what he can do, and kind of like work from there. So our producer reached out to Trailer Park Boys, didn't go through because of like the COVID situation. And then I think it was just like right place, right time for 6ix9ine because his album was coming out. And we said, we ended up connecting with him and we said we'd like, boost his album, like throw it on our page and shit. And he was just like, okay, yeah, let's do a video. And we're like, what the fuck? Like,
wow. It
was crazy. Like, so yeah, we ended up flying back to LA for a day, shot the video, went great. It was funny as fuck. And then, I think 2 weeks later we met up with him in New York, which is like,
I saw that,
which was like even more sketchy. Like
to see him.
No, just like in New York with 6ix9ine, like where like
that's his heart, that's his home.
Yeah, where like he's probably like the most
wanted.
Yeah, hot for. So that, but everything was smooth. Same kind of situation. Sat down with him at dinner. It was super weird too because I'm sitting like at the edge of the table and he's sitting right next to me. Like we're like this. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like this is weird. This is not normal.
So is this scary a little bit more lighter at this point?
No, they're still hard as fuck.
Really?
Yeah, like they go hard. Like 2 of them went up to where we were sitting because we had like a kind of like a private room area, and they went up first just to make sure like scout the whole restaurant, check the area that we were sitting, and made sure like nobody like
there's nobody that's out of pocket, out of place.
So they kind of like they do their thing beforehand. And then like we kind of all just sat down, just like had dinner, and it was just I was like, this is weird, just casually taking shots with 6ix9ine is not normal.
Holy
like this is
shit.
so weird. And fun fact, 6ix9ine has never tried beer.
Really?
Yeah.
Only liquor.
Yeah, he only likes tequila. I ordered a beer. This was, I'll remember this like till I die. This is so weird. I ordered a beer, and he looks at me. He's like, "What's that taste like?" And I'm just like, "You never had beer?" And he's like, "Nah, I just like tequila." I'm just like, I was like, "Try it." And he's just like, "Nah, I'm not really like a beer guy." And I'm like, "Well, you never tried it." And he's like, "Nah, fuck that. I'll have tequila." I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "This is so weird."
What
this is a random story, but it's just
that's crazy. I'm
so
surprised
funny.
he's never tried it. I feel like beer is just like one of those that's a stepping stone.
Yeah.
And I think I definitely tried beer before I ever tried liquor.
Yeah,
So I feel like it's just working your way
I guess
up.
he's just not a big drinker because he doesn't really like drink too often. Like it was just like whenever he's like, of course he's with us, he knows we're like fucking
You guys are
alcoholics.
full sending.
Yeah, so like he's just like, okay, yeah, like I'm gonna have a drink with the NELK Boys. So it was pretty cool. Still so surreal. Still weird to me. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wild experience.
Yeah. I mean, you're going to just continue to have these crazy experiences with these big ass celebrities and people. Like you said, if anybody follows the NELK account, in 99% chance you guys end up meeting with these people. It's like, Champagne Poppy's coming next at some point. Drake, like,
it's going to happen. I mean, we've met with some crazy people. So, and whenever it's always like Kyle's vision too. Whenever he thinks something's going to happen, it's going to happen. Like he knows we're going to meet up with Champagne Poppy eventually. It's going to happen.
When's the NELK Boys podcast going to come?
Dude, so, and we've posted on our story, so I could talk about it. We've had a podcast built for the longest time.
So what's the problem?
We're just too on the road.
Yeah.
Like we need to be grounded for like, at least 6 months in LA. Like when everything opens back up and we can actually like shoot pranks here and stuff. But it's just like, we've had this nice podcast built. Like we built a whole set in our house, like a whole set. It looks like a bar. We basically poured all this money into building a bar in our house. Super sick set. We have all the camera gear, all the audio gear. We have everything set in stone, ready to go. It's just, we're home for, 3 weeks and then we're out. And then it's just like, okay, what are we going to do?
Do you know what the concept would be, or they just have the set ready to go so then that way it can be?
There is somewhat of a concept. We're going to have like, obviously like guest speakers, like, so it's called Casuals, presented by Full Send. It's just like, when you're having a casual.
Totally.
Like, yeah. So
great idea. Great concept.
Whenever we have someone on, like, say Post Malone's on like one of the podcasts, it's just going to be like, all the boys just sitting, chilling, and just having a casual, talking about bullshit.
Wow.
No structure, just go. Kind of like the same thing you're doing right now. Just
totally.
Like, just
having a good conversation.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's such a casual thing. Like, yo, you want to grab a beer?
Yeah.
Grab a beer, and then you start talking. You just never know where that conversation is going to lead you to.
And we have so much cool stuff that, like, all these ideas that we had, like, made. Cause now we have, like, this, we have, like, all these alarms, like, under the table, and all these alarms, like on the walls, and then, like, a big sign that, like, flickers, but, like, there's a button you push while on the podcast, and it's called Shoddy O'Clock. And then regardless who you are on that podcast, you're shotgunning either. If you're not an alcoholic person or whatever, you're drinking a LaCroix.
Yeah.
You're shotgunning that LaCroix.
I love that.
So it's just like every
Dude,
guest.
The concept's money.
Yeah.
Like, the branding already sounds like it's already lined up.
It's going to be crazy when we actually like ground ourselves and like figure like, okay, we're going to be here for a little bit. So then we'll like get the podcast going. But all in good time. We're not rushing it too early or anything like that.
It's a great example of what happens when you grow something to that scale, where it's like it started out as this YouTube channel, then we built a really strong merch brand, and then we started now, doing all these other different avenues, seltzers potentially. So then it makes sense. At some point, there will be a podcast. It's just you have to pick and choose. There's only so much time in a week, and you have to pick like. You got to figure out where your energy is well spent. Yeah, for sure. So
it's definitely going to happen. It will happen fairly soon. I think after this next tour we're doing, it's probably going to be put into play.
I love that.
Yeah, because we were talking about it the other day, and we're just like, okay, we actually like figure this out as soon as this next tour is done.
Yeah. When I looked at your Instagram, I saw in your bio it was at NELK Boys, at Full Send, at Steve, and then I saw this at Trailer Park, and I was like, what the hell is this? So I clicked on it, and I saw it was like your creative page. It was kind of where you had posted a lot of your past work. Yeah. And it made sense now, as we talked about earlier, about living with you're like being raised by your grandmother and living in that trailer park specifically at one point. But I don't know if that's still like a side thing, or if like you eventually want to get back into putting more energy into that, like that production or that the trailer park. But what does trailer park mean to you?
It was like a production company I started before I was working with NELK. It's just been kind of something that's been put on the back burner since I've been with NELK. It's like I just simply just don't have the time. But as of recently, I'm going to start like putting out more like my personal content. I just shot a music video with like a good buddy, so like I'm gonna put that on Trailer Park, and then I'm actually releasing my first piece of merch soon.
Oh yeah.
So it's gonna be it's all gonna be a Trailer Park kind of like based, but first drop's gonna, I don't have an exact date yet. I'm still kind of working on the design, but I really wanted to start doing like my own merch and like kind of putting my own creativity on t-shirts and hoodies and stuff like that. So that's going to be coming pretty soon. Just once again, just like all in good time.
That's so dope.
Yeah.
Dude, that's the greatest thing about where you're at, is like you're going to continue to grow with the NELK, and you're going to have these incredible things happen, but along the way you're going to continue to build your own personal brand.
Yeah.
And there's going to be specific people that love NELK, but then more specifically love you for whatever role they see you in a video, or they follow you on social media, or they're an aspiring creative and want to get to your level, or they know your backstory and like can resonate. So I think that's the amazing thing too about when you are able to grow with something like this. Your personal brand is only going to elevate, which just means there's so much more other opportunity for, this is NELK, this is my main thing, but I also have this side gig where I create and design stuff, I shoot music videos, and I still am able to fulfill like my creative ideas. Yeah,
it's definitely important to me too, like to still have something you're doing on the side, something that's for you.
Yep.
Because obviously like working with NELK is insane. It's so much fun, but it's something that's not really like fully my thing. It's never like I can never take full creativity, which is okay sometimes, but sometimes I do want to take full creativity and do my own thing. So trying to work on, doing my own thing with Trailer Park, whether it's like music videos or like putting out merch or anything like that. Actually, just, it's funny you brought that up. I was just talking to one of my buddies today about buying like Trailer Park the handle, just to like, really solidify it and be like, okay, now this is like time to like get it going and start like posting more shit and just stop putting it on the back burner.
Yeah.
Because I have so much content built up, just like post on it. I just haven't done it, but I'm just like waiting till I get this t-shirt design, and then just finally like release that. Well,
a small thing like that where you tell yourself, I'm gonna buy this handle and then I'm fully committed, sometimes that's all you need. It's a decision, a thought, a conversation, a podcast you heard. It could be like a million different things, but there's that trigger where it's like, this is no longer just a side thing that I'm kind of working on. It's like, nope, I'm dropping a new video every week on the side, new clothing every 6 to 8 weeks. Yeah. And then it's like, then the momentum starts to pick up.
For sure.
And that's the beauty of it. Like I started the It's the Bearded Man podcast first week of January of this year. I did solo pods for the first 6 months of it, which was like, it averaged one episode a month, maybe two. And July, I had that light bulb moment. I was like, I'm done bullshitting. I'm done like kind of working on the side project. I know what I want to create. I'm just going to fucking do it. Yeah. And so from July till now, I've consistently put up 2 episodes a week for probably close to 10 weeks at this point. So it's like at some moment in time, you just tell yourself, I'm done procrastinating. I'm done like kind of putting a little bit of energy into it, to then, no, I'm just going to go full throttle. So if it's buying that handle, do it,
And that might be the thing that actually like pushes me to do it. But it is cool to see like you going through that stage too, where it's just like, it just takes that one thing and you just continue doing it over and over and over again.
I had a conversation last week, and I worked out with a past guest I had met through podcasting. Shout out to Matt Comey. He's an incredible filmmaker. Yeah. Actually from Orange County too, weirdly, now that I'm thinking about it.
I'm a big fan of him.
Yeah. Incredible. And I went and worked out with him. One conversation, I've already been heavy in fitness, but like one area that I kind of wasn't putting time and energy into was like the actual nutrition and dieting aspect. Yeah. And all it took was that conversation. And then for the last 7 days, I went head down, got real super tight with what I was actually eating, and I feel it better. And I'm like, awesome. I'm going to like keep that going. So once again, one little conversation, had no expectations of what was going to happen. And then now that's, I changed the direction of where I was going as a dieting. So that it's so when you hear it in a conversation or in a podcast, it's like, oh yeah, I get it. It just takes one conversation. But when it happens in real time and the light bulb comes, you're like, oh yeah, fuck this. Like, yeah, I'm all in on this. Like, I'm just going to go all in on doing blank. And then you start seeing start to see it come to life.
Yeah. It's cool in those moments too. Cause you're just like, damn, like, what am I doing? Like,
why haven't I been already doing this?
Yeah, why haven't I been doing this shit?
Totally.
So it is cool. That shit's dope.
How many tattoos do you have?
Dude, a lot.
You're inked up, my man.
I know. I just haven't stopped. Like I just got my stomach done.
Fire.
Yeah.
What does that say?
Sinatra.
Whoa.
Yeah. My dad was a huge
Frank guy.
Frank Sinatra guy. He was actually really good friends with him in the 80s too.
No
Crazy.
way.
My dad was an artist. He was a painter. So he would sell Frank Sinatra a lot of our paintings. And there was there's like pictures of him in like Palm Desert, like at his house, like way back when. I'm just like, I couldn't, as a kid, I'm just like, oh cool, whatever. And then like now I'm just like, that's fucked. That's crazy.
You're too young at the time. You didn't really understand.
Yeah. So now I see that shit, and like I remember he would always play Frank Sinatra in our cars. He had like all the tapes and shit. And, like wow. So like he would play a lot of shit. So I became like a huge Frank Sinatra fan. So I got that tattooed on my stomach because I was like, been a huch fan for a while now. So
that's huge. What's the neck one too? That's like a rose. It looks like.
Yeah, it's like a rose with a snake just wrapped around it. I had no meaning, just wanted it.
Just loved the way it looked.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite tattoo or one that kind of means the most to you?
I think I do. It's probably this one. I got this one done by one of my buddies. Very dark.
Whoa. It's like for people that are listening, can you explain it?
Yeah. So it's a nun, but so I'm not really religious at all, but it's a nun with she has a tattoo above her eye and it says sinner. She's got a spider on her face and she's got completely whited out eyes. And it's just a very dark tattoo. But I'm a huge fan of just like dark kind of stuff, whether it's like dark humor or like just like dark style videos, just like scary things. I'm a huge like just scary like movie type person. So like when I saw this, I actually talked to my buddy Dylan about the concept and I was just like, could you do something like this? And he's just like, I love that idea. He's like, let's do that. And he drew it up in like 2 days and I was like, yep, let's put her on me.
Wow.
Yeah.
My man's getting inked
up,
dude.
My legs. I just got my knee like completely done. Like we got a spider tattoo on my knee.
Fucking gnarly.
I got the full send going down the knee too.
Do you?
Yeah, I got full send. We were all drunk in Ibiza.
No big deal.
And then
drunk in Ibiza, no big deal.
Drunk in Ibiza, and then Jesse had a tattoo artist come through, and he tattooed the whole team that night. Everyone got full send put on them somewhere.
Oh my god!
So that was pretty cool. And then I got my whole arm sleeve, and just kind of like, just random stuff, kind of all along my arm. But
yeah, but it all looks aesthetically like the coloring all looks very one piece, even though you can tell those are obviously separate pieces, but it all looks and fits. Like it all is supposed to be together.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
That shit looks gnarly.
Yeah.
If you had to get a tattoo right now, what would you get?
I'm actually getting one Tuesday.
What are you getting?
It's this is like a different one, but it's a very small, like one of those like black and white detailed pieces. But it's gonna be a guy in a suit. He's got his head's gonna be a TV, but he's essentially like got a gun to his head. He's blowing his brains out, and then at the side of the TV, it's gonna be like all like VHS tapes coming out.
Oh, wow.
So it's no meaning. Once again, I just thought of it one night and I was just
gnarly.
like, yeah, I want to get that.
So is that next to the left sleeve?
I'm not going to fully sleeve my left arm. I think I'm just going to keep it mainly like open, but just scattered black and white small tattoos.
Wow.
I say that now.
Well, then once you get a couple on there, you're going to like, fuck, full send that.
I do the same shit every time. I told myself I'd never get a sleeve. Here I am.
Here you are.
I told myself I'd never tattoo my leg. Here I am. I've got like tattoos going on my thigh now. Like, I just think of an idea and I'm just like, okay, yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah.
It's like once I want it, I just get it.
Totally.
Yeah. But it's cool. Like I haven't regretted one tattoo.
Yeah.
Got my lip tattooed.
Did you? You still got it?
Yeah.
What did you say?
It's been on there for like longer than that, like 4 or 5 years.
Because sometimes you have to get them retouched, right? Eat shit. Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. Drunk for that one too.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes because those will wear down because you're just constantly like it's just water rubbing up against your saliva, right?
So it was funny when I got that tattoo. It was on Hollywood Boulevard, of course. Like,
No better place in LA to get that than Hollywood Boulevard.
yeah, the only place I was actually like willing to tattoo my lip, and they knew I was drunk. So
Yeah.
like, we go into this place and like tell him I want my lip tattoo. Tell him I was like I want to eat shit, and then he's he's just like, oh, okay, and right before he's about to do it, he's like, you want this thing to stay? And I'm just like, I mean, what do you mean? Like, yeah. And he's like, well, these tattoos like typically like they rub off in like a year or so. And I was like, well, yeah, I want it to stay. And he's just like, all right, I'm going to go deep. He's like, I'm going to press hard. And I was just like, okay. And that was probably one of the worst tattoos I've ever got. 'Cause he went deep. He like put that needle like in my skin. That's the only reason it's been there for, I think, 4 or 5 years now.
Wow.
So it's not rubbed off.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
Kind of crazy.
I can't even imagine that.
Yeah.
And then it's just constantly you tasting the blood after from it.
Yeah.
And
Well, like you see, like
it's scab.
You see the center, right? Like,
oh yeah.
it's kind of hooked up.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's because I kept licking it. Because when I first got it, it was so painful. Like I didn't know what else to do. I just kept licking it.
You just wanted
I was
to
like,
heal it by
yeah,
just
it was bleeding a lot too. So yeah, eventually it healed, and it's fine now.
Damn, that's gnarly.
Yeah.
Overall, how's been the pandemic for you?
I mean, working for NELK, there's never been a pandemic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we're on the road. We're still doing
so
our
you guys
thing.
didn't miss a beat.
No, pandemic only. Like when it first hit, we kind of were like worried. We're like, fuck, like what do we do? And then we started doing like these Zoom call videos. I don't know if you ever watched any of those videos,
Bro.
Yeah.
Where you guys would join in
Yeah.
on college like Zoom classes.
Yeah.
That shit is fucked.
Yeah, those went viral. Those went crazy on YouTube for us. So like we really hit hard when the whole pandemic thing happened. And then soon after that, we're like, okay, we got to do like a road trip. Like we're just like running dry. We can't do 9 Zoom call videos.
Totally. we
So we did a road trip. It was like we started in Arizona, like one of our first big road trips. And then
Is that with Bradley?
yeah,
He's a beast.
that guy's huge.
Yoked.
Yeah, that guy's fucked. He's
Yoked.
crazy. Even when we shoot skits, I wonder if like I'm like, we're acting like because he like gets in character and he gets pissed for certain things. We were supposed to shoot like a funny skit for like Steve shaving Bradley's beard for a video, and it was supposed to be like, it was supposed to be a joke. And then like I was like, okay, to make it real, why don't you run up to me after and like grab the camera and then smash it? And he's just like, okay, like I'll do that. So we shoot the bit, and like when he sees like me filming quotations, he runs over to me and grabs the camera, but he was supposed to just grab the camera out of my hands. He full blown tackles me onto the ground. And I just remember like 2 people were supposedly like holding him back, and all his weight just went straight on my chest, just knocked the wind out of me. And I was just like, Jesus fuck. Like I was like,
This guy's all in on it.
I was like, what do you want, an Oscar? Or like we're fucking it's supposed to be a joke. It was funny. That was fine.
Did he actually smash the camera?
Yeah. Brutally just smashed into pieces. Yeah.
That's a production cost.
$3,000. There you go.
Oh my god.
Yeah. It hurts. Like it even hurt me. Cause I didn't suggest it at first. And Kyle was just like, yeah, why don't you smash the camera? I'm like, what? Like, why? Like,
wow.
And then, but yeah,
especially being a camera, like that's like a passion. You're like, dude, we
like,
can't just like kill a lens, dude.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, there's millions of them. We can buy more, but like, this is my lens. We use it for 10 shoots, dude. This is so good.
But I was just like, okay, whatever, smash the camera, fuck it. And
Holy
then,
shit.
absolutely destroyed that camera.
R.I.P.
Yeah, rest in peace to camera. But it made the bit look a lot more real, but it was funny.
Do you guys stick between like a certain budget per video, or is it just depends on like what the concept is, and then the sky's the limit?
There's really no budget right now. We don't really have a person that's in charge of budgeting right now, because we always say like, okay, what if we budget, say we wanted to budget $10,000 for this video, or this like part of this video, but 12,000 would have made it so much better. So
go big.
They're always about like, hey, like for right now, like let's just spend the money and like
totally
make our productions worth it.
Totally.
Just so we're not like, shooting ourselves like too thin.
Yeah. I mean, it's worth it because it's just building the content, and if you believe in, it's like any business model. If you believe in what you're doing, it's better to just keep reinvesting in yourself, and that's just it might have cost us extra $12,000 in this moment in time, but that's ultimately going to make us 100x more in the coming months because this video does better than normal.
And that's the thing they're so good for too, because like they understand like, okay, we got to pour more money back into this, because they really don't take any money for themselves. It's just being funneled. It's all just like every dollar we make goes right back into the company.
Totally.
So they're good for that. So like if me in Austin have an idea for a video or like a concept for a merch shoot, they really just don't care about a budget. They're just like, hey, just make it dope. That's all they care about.
That's so gnarly.
So it's so cool to like have that, because like I don't know, like when I was shooting like music videos like way back when or something like that, having like, okay, I have $150, like what can we do?
Yeah,
buy some props off Amazon.
Yeah, but you know what, it's funny, it full circles to right back to before we just started this podcast. Was sometimes those moments are important because it teaches you to be resourceful, and it teaches you to make it work with nothing, so that when the time does come and you have the budgets, you know how to properly execute it. Because you're like, yeah, I shot a music video on $150. You're giving me 10 grand to now shoot. Oh, beautiful. I can make this happen. It's like, there is beauty in those moments where you don't have anything to work with except your time, your skill, and asking your brother for a lens or asking a friend to just be an extra on a shoot. Like, there's some weird beauty that in the moments that you're doing it, you just can't wait to get to the next level. Like in these moments right now, like I can't wait to have a full production studio and have like multiple cameras, and like can't wait to be that level of a podcast. But at the same time, it's like I also love the gritness of like trying to build something that nobody else sees except for myself. So
for sure,
I think it goes both ways though. At the end of the day, you want to have the money and you want to have some type of budget to work off of, but in those early times, it's hard to believe it and accept it, but there is something beautiful about just having nothing to work with and going, I either make it work with this or I don't make it work with anything. So
yeah, it's definitely cool seeing like coming from like just completely budgeting and like having to like finagle ways to like figure out props, or you can't pay for an extra, so you get like what you said, a friend, or you can't rent that car, so you get the next best thing and you use like your own car or like your friend's like nicer car. And now having this budget to do these cool things, it's just like, it's like endless opportunities. Mm-hmm. Like anything we think up, like whatever we want, they're just kind of like, as long as we can trust you guys with like making these videos dope, and you think we need these things, and like we're all for it. And that's the coolest thing in the world. I'm just like, damn, like we can make these videos crazy.
Full creative control, baby.
Yeah, that's wild.
That's awesome that everyone's on the same page and just wants to keep investing and keep building up the brand.
Yeah, it is true. Like they definitely like trust us and just know that like we're in it just as much as they are about like building this thing up.
Yeah.
And we want the same outcome. We're all on the same page for like our vision on what we want this like NELK and full send thing to be. And we just kind of like work with what we got right now and just like, we're making things work. It's
totally
cool. Yeah.
I love that. You ever heard of a brand called We Are Not Really Strangers? You might have seen their memes, or not. You might have seen their Instagram accounts get shared a bunch on Instagram. I can show you after, but it's an account called We Are Not Really Strangers, and they actually built a card game, and it's a card deck that's it's a game that's pretty much meant to like open the conversation up with a stranger, right? We are not really strangers in the sense of like it skips surface level questions and it goes deep.
Yeah.
So what I've been doing now before guests come is I have the card game and I flip through the deck and I pull a card.
Okay.
And so the card that I got for you is, what are you afraid of more, failure or success, and why?
I would definitely think failure 100%, just because I've seen it so much throughout my life and my family. I don't think I really have like, besides like my sister with the event company, she's like the only successful one of our family. So seeing so much failure just from like growing up, that was the one thing I just did not want. That was the one thing I just told myself, like, no matter what you do, just be happy with what you do and just don't fail and keep working towards something that's going to make you happy and make you successful. And I think I'm definitely like on the right track to doing so.
Totally.
So I think one step in the right direction for me right now. And it's cool to see. It's actually like kind of crazy because like I definitely, even today, like I wake up and I'm just like, how is this possible? How is this even real? Like I'm living in the full send house with like NELK. I was sleeping in my car 2.5 years ago, just absolutely dirt broke, had no idea what to do. and you just kind of like put your head down and just figure things out. And now I think I'm doing pretty all right. Cannot complain about life right now.
Yo, you're doing pretty good, my man.
Yeah.
And it's very obvious, and especially talking today, it's so many moments have led to this happening, and it's people like you who deserve this shit so much because the cards were stacked against you. You weren't dealt the easiest hand in your life. And then to the point of like you created this opportunity for yourself.
Yeah.
You had a vision for wanting to get into visuals and like doing something at that scale. And so you created the opportunity of like convincing this company to allow you to shoot because you wanted to build a long-term relationship with them, and then getting in there and getting shut down from the main video guy of NELK and still saying, fuck that, I'm going to keep asking.
Yeah.
To then getting into contact with Kyle, to then being able to drive an hour the next day or whatever, a couple days later, to sleep in your car. Like, you set yourself up for that. And I think it just speaks to why you are where you are today. And it's just so cool to hear, because where you came from and what was stacked against you to now where you are, it's a great fucking example for people. Like, you made this shit happen for yourself, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you deserve this shit, and whatever else is to come next, a lot, you're gonna deserve that too, because of how you've gotten to this point.
Yeah. Still pretty crazy to me, but yeah, you're definitely right. Just work your ass off and put your head down and work towards things that you think are possible, and shit will happen.
Totally gnarly.
Yeah.
Before we wrap this up, I would like you to put a challenge to the listeners today. If they made it this far on the podcast, what's something that they can do today that you think would improve their lives, or like something? Because there's a lot of time I think people can listen to a podcast and they get inspired, or they learn something and then they don't know what to do next. What's a challenge that you'd like to put out for anybody that got to the podcast this far?
Yeah, I've kind of been putting this into my life a lot more. Obviously, like, our lifestyle is so crazy, and I'm constantly surrounded by people, and there's never really like downtime, especially when like we're filming. But take an hour or two out of your day and just drive to the beach, drive wherever's like your happy place, leave your phone in your car and just go sit for an hour, like, and just think about stuff. That's what I've been trying to do a lot more, just to like clear my head, because obviously like I'm in this world of like social media that's just like so much information coming in and so much work to be done and all this stuff. I just really don't take time for myself, and I've been really recently just trying to take time for myself and just like go and chill, relax, don't be on your phone, because the minute I have my phone next to me, I'm going to be like answering texts or something. So it's just nice to be like alone, just sit and just think of nothing. Yeah.
You ever tried meditating before?
I haven't, but I've talked to our chef. He's like a huge spiritual guy. Yeah. And I told him, I was just like, hey, I think I need meditation or something. I've just been like high anxiety, high stress lately. And he told me he's going to take me to the beach, and he said, I won't teach you how to meditate, but you got to teach yourself.
Ooh, it's so true.
And I was like, okay. I have no idea what that means. I haven't done it yet. I think we're doing it Monday. Yeah. So we'll see. Yeah.
I've been practicing meditation for the last 4 years. Mm-hmm. And I love that he said that, because that's kind of, there is no script to it. There's no wrong or right way to do it. But what meditation is teaching you is how to control your thoughts. Mm-hmm. And so now I'm at a point, I'm still barely scratching the surface 4 years in. Mm-hmm. But I'm at a point now where when these emotions rise, anxious, angry, nervous, overwhelmed, or on the other side, extremely happy, those high dopamines, like you're like, life is fucking bliss, right? Yeah. Meditation has taught me how to bring everything back down and keep me very grounded. So I love using the analogy. It's meditation allows us to, when you're flying a plane, you're cruising at 30,000 feet. Mm-hmm. There's turbulence that happens. It bumps you high, which is like the happiness. Good moments in your life. It fucking jets you up high, but then you get back to that 30,000 feet. And there's turbulence that will knock you down. And those are the setbacks and the shit that fucks with your head and like makes you feel like shit. Or you wake up one morning, you're just not feeling it. You're not feeling motivated. You're feeling uninspired. those moments happen, and then the meditation brings you right back up. So what it's taught me is to be in control of my mind, to be in control of my thoughts, and it's allowed me to navigate in those moments in time where I feel either too high or too low to bring me back to center. And it's something I've been practicing daily. I use an app, which I can send it to you after this podcast. They offer 30 days free. And it's been one of the greatest things that I've ever incorporated in my life. And I do it every morning. Right after first thing I do every morning is work out. I shower. And as soon as I get out of the shower and I go back into my room, I sit down and I meditate for 10 minutes. And it allows me to set good intention for the day. And it's almost like being your biggest hype man, except like not trying to think so much. So definitely take the chef up on that offer, and remember that it's going to take consistent effort to even see 1% growth. Yeah. But I guarantee you, if you stick with this shit for some time, give it like 3 to 6 months, it is going to change your life, and it's only going to get better and better.
Yeah, I definitely need that in my life right now.
Bro, huge. So I love, that's the challenge. Go find that stillness, go drive somewhere or whatever. But I've been able to now recreate that feeling when I'm sitting anywhere. You could put me in an airport with a bunch of people moving around. You could put me in LA traffic on the 405 bumper to bumper. Even keel.
See, that's where I want to get to.
Even keel.
Yeah. Huge. Just from what I've heard, just like from like different people's stories, and like I've been doing a lot of research on like YouTube on like
totally.
Obviously, there's no right or wrong way how to meditate, but like just trying to figure out like what's people's process on how to do it, and it's just so interesting to me, and it's just something that seems like everybody should do. You know, if you're in a high stress environment, like just go meditate. Yeah. Just figure it out. Yeah. There's no right or wrong reason. Just start.
Dude, try it. It's a game changer. And it will speak for itself in time, but it takes time. It takes effort, and it's like going to the gym. You're not going to see results after the first week. Yeah, first exactly. 3 weeks, first month.
That makes sense.
But if you stay consistent long enough, you start to see the results. And that's the same thing with meditating. It's the mental fitness for your mind. Yeah. And it's now being talked about more than ever in the last couple of years. And I'm a big advocate for it. And I think it can benefit anybody, which has been incredible.
Yeah. I think mental health is so important too. And not very many people do talk about it. It's just like kind of scratching the surface now. Totally. But I do think it's an important thing, and that's something that I had never really focused on before. I was just kind of like always worried about the hustle and bustle. Totally. But now, obviously being with NELK so long, I'm just like, okay, my mental state's, like withering away. So it's definitely something
you got to find those things. Yeah. You got to find those things that allow you to bring back up the mind, or like to control the thoughts, or especially in a house like that where there's all these things moving and people screaming and doing this, doing that. You got to find those moments to just slow down. And I think one of the biggest things that I've seen in the last year of my life is just the amount of balance I've added to my life, and it's just leveled me out. Yeah. It allowed me to go back to work even stronger, more motivated, more sharp. But yeah, I mean,
that sounds important. Amazing. I need that. I need that in my life.
We can talk about that more after we get off this. But I mean, bro, this is you're truthfully today like the first new guest on. So it's the Bearded Man podcast. We've had I don't know, maybe like 10 or so guests on the show so far. Hell yeah. The last podcast I had done over 150 guests. But this was like, I've had 10 plus guests on the new show, but they were all past guests that I had on other podcasts. Okay. So it's a little different when you're bringing them in, because I already know the context of them. Yeah. Versus today, this was like the first true guest that I don't really know too much about. And, what an incredible bar you just set for fucking this podcast for me. So,
well, I'm honored. Yeah. I'm honored to be the first guest.
I appreciate your vulnerability. And I don't want to say I respect you even more, because I'm just getting to know you. So I have respect for anybody I'm just getting to meet, but I've gained to appreciate so much more of like what you represent to the world, and to anybody who hears this podcast, and anybody that follows you or knows you. Like, I just think your story is very unique and needs to be shared and spoken about more. And I really appreciate you being vulnerable and like taking it to certain topics and things that could easily just navigate and say, oh, this kind of happened, but opening up and sharing some shit. It's some real authentic stuff, man.
I mean, I appreciate the opportunity and giving me a voice to tell those stories and stuff like that.
100%. Yeah. Where can people find you on Instagram?
You can find me on Instagram at Adrian Verdult. That's ADRIANVERDULT. It's kind of the only place I post right now. So
it's the best place to be.
Yeah.
I apologize for butchering your name in the beginning. I was too excited to have you here. You look great. You had your beard. I was looking at the tattoos. I was looking at this thing. I was like, Adrian Verdult. I didn't even know what the hell I said, so I apologize for that.
No, you're good. You're good.
If you guys and gals made it this far in the podcast, please screenshot this episode, post it to your Instagram story, tag Adrian at Adrian Verdult, tag me at Bob-A. That's B-O, 3 B's, 4 A's, and a Y. And let us know what you thought of the podcast. That's how we grow this shit from the ground up and grow it organically.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, man. Well, thank you for coming in today.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And let's keep winning. Thank you for the shorts, bro. I'm about to be rocking those babies tomorrow morning when I'm getting that
That's
sweat
motivation
in.
to go work out now.
Let's go.
Hell yeah.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll talk to you soon.
See ya.